Hello, my name is Desiree Roffers, and this is my presentation on exploring AI powered content creation and specifically focusing on Eduaide AI. Eduaide AI is a product that is specifically designed for teachers, and it is a tool that you can not only use to create lesson plans, but also to use to create a lot of other learning materials. So, when I've seen other AI products for teachers, a lot of them just focus on lesson plans, but Eduaide will do a lot more. And there are actually over 50 different types of resources that it will create for you. And I will show you some examples in a few minutes. And one thing that I think is also pretty awesome about EduAid is that it has the ability to produce learning objects in more than 15 different languages. I am currently a world language specialist for Chicago Public Schools. So the fact that it can work in different languages is very helpful for world language teachers. And it's also very helpful for any teacher that has students that speak another language or whose parents might speak another language. And it also, in addition to being able to create those 50 different types of resources, you can also have it create a custom item. It has a feature similar to Chat GPT where you just put in a prompt and it will create something custom for you. And one other feature that was a little bit different from other products is the ability to give student feedback. So you can paste in a student work sample, and it will generate feedback based on either a rubric that you create or on items that you select. So let's take a look at Eduaid. So here's Eduaid. You can see here there are a variety of resources. I can change the grade level. So right now I'm going to do an example for fifth grade students. And I can choose from any of these different items. If I click productivity, there's some items. Wellness, there are different items. So I was a French teacher. So I'm going to click mindfulness activity. And I'm going to have it write a mindfulness activity in French for novice mid level students. And then I click add to workplace and it will generate the activity. And you can see um, it, it is able to generate the activity in French. Then I can go up here and I can clear the response. If I go up here, I can go to content generator and there are different types of activities. I can click the subject. As I mentioned, I taught French, so I usually click enrichment and I taught younger students. So this time I'll click first grade students and I can click either assignment, question, or general. Here this time I'm going to try having it create a game. And I'm going to say create a game for for novice high students practicing food vocabulary in French. Head to workplace, and you can see that it has created a fun game to try with students. And this work area works very similar to any word processing program where I could, bold things or I can delete parts that I don't like. And then I can copy and paste that into something that I would like to use. So here are a few examples of different things that I have created. So for this one, this was just a list of different accommodations to use with an ADHD student. So I clicked on the assistant button and then I clicked accommodations list. I just typed ADHD. And then there was some extra information that I didn't want included at the bottom. So I deleted that. And then I also changed the font of the heading. For this one, I changed the grade level to third grade. And then I clicked an email home. And then the prompt that I typed was write an email to a parent about a student who disrupted class by throwing paper during a lesson. And you can see here it has created an email for a parent about a student who has disrupted the lesson. And I could edit this, but it would really give me a great start to write a quick email to a parent. But what I also thought was awesome was that I cleared the response and then I left the prompt, but then I changed the output language to Spanish and it was able to rewrite that same email in Spanish. So here is some more content that I generated. As I mentioned, I was a French teacher. So I thought this was pretty great. I clicked content generator and then I selected third grade and I clicked skit. And then I gave it the prompt to create a skit for novice mid third grade French students using classroom vocabulary. And here it, on the spot, came up with a custom skit for my French third grade students. So this is an incredibly useful resource because there's not a lot of materials out there, especially for elementary French, and the ability for it to just custom create something on the fly is amazing for teachers. Here is another lesson. This time I clicked assistant and I clicked lesson seed. So it's kind of like a lesson plan it created for me. I selected kindergarten and I asked it to create a novice high French lesson practicing describing objects. And this was again for kindergarten. So it created a pretty extensive lesson. I probably wouldn't use all of this, but this would give me a great start on creating a lesson for my students. None of this was earth shattering, but it would really have saved me a lot of time on thinking of activities to practice my lesson objective. Here's one more example is I clicked assistant, clicked behavioral intervention plan, and then I selected kindergarten. And this was a problem that I had experience with occasionally with a couple of students is I student keeps running out of the classroom. So sometimes you'd have runners in our kindergarten classes, and this after I clicked add to workplace, it created a plan for helping that student, including even a script for how to talk to the student, which I thought was great. So, some of the strengths of Eduaide are that it is completely free right now, which is awesome. Um, and it makes it much more available to all teachers. Um, I also mentioned that I think the ability to translate into multiple languages is a big strength of this program. And that the content can be tailored to the needs of K to 12 teachers. Unfortunately, if you teach adults, this is not really for you at this time, but for K to 12 teachers, it's an awesome product. Oh, actually, it is preschool to grade 12. They do have some preschool stuff as well. And it's not just for lesson plans. So that was something different than other AI programs out there. It has multiple functions, not just lesson creation. And the ability to edit your response directly into in the program, kind of as I showed you, almost like a word processing program where you can edit it right there, was helpful. And then also that it's just, very easy to use is really helpful for teachers since they have such limited time and some teachers are not the most tech savvy. The fact that, you can, with minimal clicks, intuitively use the program, that is very helpful for teachers. Some of the weaknesses are that it only creates text response. So even to have it create a table for you, you have to tell it to create a table, and it's very limited on what it will create. It doesn't have the ability to create images or complex graphic organizers at the moment. Um, Another issue is that the prompt does not automatically save. You have to um, save it yourself. Um, so that's a downside. And the AI does not remember previous prompts. So if you want to have it make an adaptation to something that you've already done, it doesn't remember what you've already asked it to do. And then I tried out the feedback option, but one thing I found is it's really a better tool for maybe high school or middle school level students. It wasn't very elementary friendly. And unlike the lesson seeds and some of the other tools, you could not change the feedback option to different grade levels or age groups. And for this product, there wasn't a way to provide the AI with feedback on the quality of the response. So if you didn't like the response, the AI was not aware if you did not like the response it gave you. So my overall analysis for efficiency, I thought even though does have some weaknesses, it was very useful because it saves teachers lots of time. And I recently showed this to one of my friends who is becoming a teacher, and she thought it was incredibly helpful and has already saved her some time. And it generates content very quickly. You could see that it could come up with a lot of text in a very short amount of time. As far as creativity, it was able to create a lot of variety of resources. So that is very helpful. But as I mentioned, it's only limited to text. So you're not going to be able to do complex graphic organizers or complex anchor charts or anything that would have a visual. And then also, you're just very limited because it cannot remember your previous prompts. As far as personalization, it does allow you, except for with the feedback function, to tailor to the age of your students. So I thought that was really helpful. And the fact that you can generate content in multiple languages allows you to tailor it to your students' needs. And the fact that you can edit the responses right there on the program was very helpful. So, although nothing was earth shattering about the responses it gave you, I do think this is a great product for teachers because it is an incredible time saver. And here is my reference to Eduaide. I definitely recommend that you check it out and share this information with other teachers that may be interested in trying out Eduaide.